everyone, and welcome to Coffee and Tools. We're going to be drinking coffee, but we're going to be doing tools. Tools and more tools. Plus we're going to be doing projects. A lot of cool projects planned for this year. This is just episode 1. So with episode 1, we're going to cover a specific tool this week and try to give you some ideas on what this tool can do, because a lot of people have shied away from these tools over the years, and I think there's probably several different reasons for it. Cost might be part of it, but I've noticed the used ones are getting like really cool. They're coming down in price, and you can buy these things, like I've seen them at yard sales now. So the one that we're going to look at today was heading for a scrap yard for weight. So that's really sad. I was able to rescue it, bring it here, do a little bit of refurbishing, and the whole idea behind this particular episode is to show you just the features and some of the options of the Craftsman 12-inch radial arm saw, commercial style, the bad boy. Okay, the first thing we're going to notice about this is the table on a radial arm saw. It's a little different because the fence is out here, and this is really the best reason is safety for one, but this is like the parking spot on a radial arm saw in your fence. So your blade is behind this fence, and this allows you to get your stock, your wood, whatever, up in here, get it clamped in place. When you're ready to make that cut, you can turn this saw on, you can pull that blade across, you're going to get a nice cut. You should probably get yourself something like this, or one of the other types of what we call squares, and square everything up on the saw and make sure that this fence and this blade and the table and everything is nice and square. Taking time to set something up like this is really going to give you better results down the road. Really what we're after tonight, though, is to talk about the features. This one is a 12-inch. This is a 12-inch blade in here. The arbor on this is a 5/8, and so it uses a little spacer washers or shims, whatever you like, to make up the difference, because a 12-inch blade will generally come with a 1-inch arbor. So you've got to there's little washers that will come with the blade generally, if it's a decent manufactured kit, and you can put those on, and you can run your 12-inch blade on your 5/8 arbor. But the beauty of a 5/8 arbor is, if you say want to run a 10-inch blade, a specialty cut blade, cabinet blade, something like that, you can run it on this saw, and that's a real nice little feature. The next feature we're going to talk about is this is also a compound miter saw. And the reason I say that is because your blade can swing out this way or the other way, just like a compound saw. And again, you can do your 45-degree cut this way if that's what you need. So it really has that feature that's really nice, because the next thing I'm going to show you is to pull this across. You can turn this bad boy here. Now we got this thing set this way. We can run stock through here just like a table saw. So she's got the table saw qualities. She can do the work like a table saw, but the other cool thing is she's also can do the work of a miter compound saw. So that's 2 tools right there in one. But we're going to talk about some more features. And again, the beauty of these saws is a lot of people, I don't think, realize that this saw can actually be a drum sander. How? We're going to come back in a second, and I'm going to show you how to do a drum sander on this. Okay, here at the front of the saw, we're going to come around to the other side. Now this side here is the other side from the blade, and what we're looking at here is the motor here, but you'll notice this little red dot, and it's actually a plastic cap, and it's really cool because we can undo that plastic cap, and what we can do is change it out for different tools. And yeah, here's a kit, for example, right here that I'm going to show you, and this is a drum sander. Now you might think, well, how the heck is he gonna, okay, we're gonna screw that on there and lock it on the saw. Now you might still say, well, now how's he gonna? Yeah, he's gonna, because what you can do at this point is you can bring the saw out here,
and we can raise the saw, tilt this head this way. Actually, we'll have to remove, you'd have to remove the blades and what have you off the other side of the saw. But once you do that, this motor can tilt down, so this drum will actually be in this position. And what happens is when it gets down here, you can set it up to height, and you can actually set it right off the table, and you can use it as a drum sander and run your stock through it. So that's a pretty cool little option, and it's just a feature that I think a lot of people have missed over the years with these saws, is they can actually do a lot of different things. Now there's also an attachment, I don't have it here handy right this minute, but there's another attachment that actually puts a 1/2 inch full-size drill chuck on here, and you can do horizontal boring. And how you would do that is simply, again, turn the saw so that this is now pointed that way. You put your stock in here, and you would actually do horizontal drilling, or you could do vertical drilling with it, and it goes further. With this little item, you can actually put router bits in there. So you could actually do routering off of this guy. And there's also another set of blades that you can use on this saw that will give you even more features than this. And the other, of course, the other thing was on this side of the saw, we'll go back here to the blade side. This blade, we can interchange it, and of course, we also have what's called a dado kit that you can buy various types of dado kits for these saws. But here's just one for an example, and this here is a dado kit. Come from Sears, Craftsman, I believe. But this one's a dial-in one. It's really cool because you dial in the size of the width of the cut that you want. And of course, if you're a good woodworker, you're going to check your work, maybe undercut the size the first time, check it, see, make sure it's giving you the cut you want, and then dial it right up to where you want it locked. Lock it in and bring it across. Again, this is a 5/8 arbor, so you can use this on this saw, no problem. Actually, I think the packaging here somewhere, it says something about 12-inch radial arm saw. So that's another item. So these saws are actually so awesome because they can do so much work. And there's, it's a table saw, it's a compound miter saw, it's a sanding machine, with a drum sander, and it's also a drill. It's a drill press. It's a horizontal or vertical drill. There's just, and you can run big dado, you can run long pieces of lumber through this thing. Really like these saws. It's a shame that a lot more people aren't using them, but hey, that's the radial arm saw. It's a pretty cool tool. It really is. Well, that's a wrap for this week with coffee and tools. Hope you got a little bit of knowledge on that radial arm saw with some of the features that they can do. It's pretty cool. Next week, I'm going to do table saw. A couple of different table saws, and one of them is a Craftsman table saw that's been repowered with Ryobi power, so that's going to be pretty cool. So hopefully stay with us, subscribe to the channel, and maybe see you next week when we do table saws. And I'm also going to read some of the YouTube comments down below, see if we have anybody asking about certain tools or some ideas. Hey, let me know. Till then,